Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club for the Calcutta Races Art Meeting for day Thursday, 21st November 2024 race preview. The Pentar Handicap is the opening event of the afternoon for horses rated 126 to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality to be run over a distance of about 1100 meters. We got 10 going to purse for the opening event. The first runner we're looking at is Eagles Flight, who's had 3 starts during the monsoon season. Eagles Flight finished on 7th in the first start in race number 8, then again 7th in race number 36. Last start, the one we are looking at, is from race number 50, where Eagles Fight went over 1200 meters, was in a prominent spot as they entered the home straight, was in second spot in the last 200 meters, then dropped back slightly, eventually finished on 4th of 10 runners. The winner here was Golden Light. Number 2 is Happy Morning, who had 4 starts during the monsoon season, unplaced in all 4 starts. Last start was in race number 59, where Happy Morning was in 4th spot as they entered the home straight, started to gradually back paddle, eventually finished on 7th of 7. The winner there was War Trail. Happy Morning today, the mount of P. Tejeshwar. Number 4 is Trebia, Rodrigo Connor out of Yesteryear. 3 stars during the monsoon season, including a placed effort. The start we are looking at is from the current season, race number 9, where Trebia went over 1200 meters, was in 8th spot as they entered the home straight, kept on finding something and finished on 8th of 12 runners. The winner here was Skyforce, who won the race by more than a distance. Couple of runners. This is from race number 13, Sunflare and Palcha. Sunflare was in 6th spot as they entered the home straight and eventually finished on 5th. And Palcha, who took the turn in 2nd spot, started to gradually drop back, eventually finished on 4th of 8 runners. The winner here was Line Up and Collect. Sunflare to the amount of H. Arul and Palcha the amount of P. Uday Kiran. Couple of runners again, Magnite and Calcutta. This is from race number 7. This was the 2nd start Magnite had during the season. Earlier start finished on 8. In race number 2, here Magnite was a little slowly out of the gates, took the turn in 6th spot, then made some late gains, finished on 4th. Calcutta had this solitary start during the current season and was in 3rd spot and then dropped back, eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Elite. Number 9 is MSG Fantasy. 3 stars during the monsoon season for MSG Fantasy. Couple of placed efforts, in fact I should say board effort. 4th in race number 2 and race number 14 respectively. Last start MSG Fantasy was a little slowly out of the gates, took the turn in 10th spot, then made some late gains, eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was Lightning Charlie. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Allodium Handicap for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality to be run over a distance of about 1100 meters. We got 12 going to purse for the second race of the afternoon. The first runner we are looking at is Loris, who came down from Hyderabad, has had a couple of starts, one on the monsoon track where finished on 11th in race number 51, and the start we are looking at is from the current season in race number 10 on the winter track. Well, Loris took the turn in last spot, then made up a couple of placings on the wide outside and eventually finished on 7th. The winner here was Dubai Princess, who made every post a winning one. Number 2 is Dubai Gold. Dubai Gold had 3 stars during the monsoon season, all 3 unplaced efforts. In fact, last start it was trotting lame after the race. That was in race number 50, the one we're looking at, where Dubai Gold took the turn in 6th spot, dropped back and finished on last of 7. But Dubai Gold definitely has a liking towards the winter track. Looking at 3 runners, Zuccardi, Swift Lady, Tender Heart. This is from race number 8, where Zuccardi took the turn in front as they entered the home straight, but then started to really drop back, eventually finished on 2nd last. Swift Lady, who took the turn in 4th spot, came up with a run and finished on 2nd. And Tender Heart, this was second start for Tender Heart during the season. Earlier start in race number 5, finished on 7th. Over here, Tender Heart took the turn in 6th spot, traveled wide of the track into the home straight and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was All-Time Legend. Number 6 is Over the Line, Furo out of Infinity, and 3 stars during the Calcutta monsoon season. Second placed effort in race number 50, and this start was in race number 63, where Over the Line was in second spot, then burst out of the pack and eventually had about half a length to spare from the late finishing Saranaika. The mount of S. Lane is Over the Line. Number 9 is Sea Eagle, Phoenix Star out of Tropical Blue. 4 stars during the last season. This was during the winter season last time out, and Sea Eagle finished on second in the 2,400 meter race, and earlier start in the Oaks finished on third. The start we are looking at is from race number 91, where Sea Eagle took the turn in second spot, eventually finished on fourth. The winner here was Life is Good. Number 10 is Liban. Liban has had 3 stars already in the current season. In race number 6 finished on third, race number 9 finished on second, race number 15 Liban took charge but really started to drift out very alarmingly. Jockey managed to stay on top, and eventually Liban had a length and a quarter to spare on the second place toss, which was Flamingo Road. Number 11 is Star Concept, who's come down from southern India, has had place form over there. The start was on the monsoon track in the current season in race number 3, where Star Concept took the turn in second spot and eventually dropped back and finished on third. The winner here was Sensational, who eventually had almost 3.5 lengths to spare. Star Concept today the mount of Vinod Shinde. Finally, we got Extravagant Star, who had a couple of stars during the monsoon season, including a win in race number 24 this season. This was in race number 9, where Extravagant Star was in a prominent position as they entered the home straight. Then when the race came to a ball, Extravagant Star started back paddle, eventually finished on 7th of 12 runners. The winner here was Sky Force. We move on to the third race of the year afternoon, the Heartland Handicap Division 1. This is a no-pep race for horses grade 21 to 46, grade 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. This is the first leg of the jackpot pool, and we have a carried over amount of 1 lakh rupees net, which has been added to the jackpot pool collection, and you can play your jackpot selections on betindiaraces.com as well. First runner we're looking at is Fresh Hope. Fresh Hope started the season with a bang, was backed down to exclusion, was closed at 100 to 70 on and made every poster. Winning was Fresh Hope in the hands of B.R. Kumar. Eventually had 3.5 quarter lengths to spare over the second place toss, which was UV. We got a couple of runners, 2 Multi-Stara, 6 Royal Rider. Multi-Stara was in 12th spot, made some late gains and eventually finished on 9th. Royal Rider, who was racing in 9th spot, dropped back, eventually finished on 11th. The winner here was Sky Force. This was in race number 9. Number 3 is By the Book. When Legend out of Glamorous Approach had a start during the monsoon season, where By the Book finished on second. This is from the current season, but on the monsoon track, where By the Book was on a start to finish mission, then dropped back, eventually finished on 7th of 9 runners. The winner here was Sensational. By the Book, again the mount of J.H. Arul. Number 4 is Jol of It. Has had a couple of starts in this season. First in the monsoon track in race number 3, where finished on 6th. Then in race number 12, which was on the winter track, took the turn in 7th spot, kept on plodding and eventually finished on 7th of 11 runners. The winner here was Aeropoli, who had a distance to spare from the second place toss. Jol of It to the mount of H. Arul. We got 3 runners, Flamingo Road, Cristaldo, Emperor Sugar. Flamingo Road, who took the turn in 3rd spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on an eye-catching second. Number 8, Emperor Cristaldo, who was in 6th spot, dropped back and finished on 7th. Emperor Ashoka, who was racing in 7th spot and eventually finished on 8th of 9 runners. The winner here was Liban. Number 7 is Impermanence. Impermanence had one start in the current season on the monsoon track, where Impermanence took the turn in 7th spot. When asked for an effort, really had nothing to offer, was eased up, eventually finished on 11th of 11, detached from the field, and today the mount of Abdul Fazal, who came a kilo off. Number 10 is Stitch in Time, who had 4 stars during the monsoon season, and best start was definitely the second start Stitch in Time had, which was in race number 37, where Stitch in Time finished on 3rd. The run we are looking at is from race number 63, where Stitch in Time took the turn in 7th spot, finished on 8th of 12 runners. The winner here was Over the Line. We move on to the 4th race of the day, the Hartnell Handicap Division 2. This is a no-whip race for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. We're looking at NRI Fantasy. The run we are looking at is from the current season on the winter track, where NRI Fantasy was in 5th spot, kept on plodding, eventually finished on 5th. NRI Fantasy did have a win during the monsoon season in race number 62 over 1200 meters. NRI Fantasy today the mount of Sonu Mishra, who claims 4 kilos off. Couple of runners, Kindred Spirit and Lightning Charlie. Kindred Spirit, this was second start for Kindred Spirit during the current season. Both time has been unplaced, including this start, which was in race number 14, where Kindred Spirit finished on 6th. Lightning Charlie got back-to-back wins on the monsoon track in the monsoon season in race number 36, then the current season in race number 2. Last start, Lightning Charlie was in 3rd spot. When asked for an effort, dropped back a place and finished on 4th. Couple of runners again, 3 Super Rakigas, 7 Amalfitana. This is from race number 16, where Super Rakiga was in 9th spot, stayed on in 9th, did not really have any impression on the race. 7 Amalfitana, who travelled a little wide throughout, eventually finished on 2nd last. The winner here was Oh My Sweetheart. Super Rakiga, the mount of R. Shella, and Amalfitana ridden by P. Tejeshwar. Number 4 is Veneno. Veneno has had a win during the last winter season, then a placed effort in race number 73, and finally the run we're looking at is from the last race it had during the winter season in race number 92, where it was 10th of 10th, and it was noted after the race that Veneno was trotting lame. Veneno skipped the entire monsoon season. Today the mount of P. Uday Kiran is Veneno. Number 6 is Elite, and Elite finished on 2nd on opening day on the monsoon track in race number 2, and then in race number 7, Elite was tracking the favourite all through down the last 200 meters, then took charge into the last 100 meters, eventually had 2 1/4 lengths to spare on Lineup and Collect, who has subsequently won and will lead the mount of Binay Jaiswal. Number 9 is Menju's Moustache. Menju's Moustache had a couple of stars during the monsoon season, where finished on 3rd in race number 63. This season was strongly fancied in race number 3. This was a run on the monsoon track, but there was nothing much coming in the way of Menju's Moustache's run. Eventually finished on 4th of 9 runners. The winner here was sensational, Menju's Moustache, and in the mount of A. Sandesh. Number 10 is Marcolini. Marcolini has had a couple of stars during the current season in race number 2, finished on 3rd to Lightning Charlie. Last start was over 1400 meters, where Marcolini took the turn in 4th spot, made up a placing, and eventually finished on 3rd. The winner here was Lineup and Collect. Number 11 is Artemis Zelda. Couple of 7th placed efforts for Artemis Zelda. Finally, in race number 34, was in 6th spot, then made up couple of places and eventually finished on 4th. But it was noted after the race that Artemis Zelda was trotting lame. The mount of JHRL is Artemis Zelda today. We move on to the 5th race of the day, the aeronative handicap for horses weighed 61 to 86, weight 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first one we're looking at is Dragon's Gold. Dragon's Gold had a very decent monsoon season, couple of wins for Dragon's Gold there, and this season on the monsoon track on race number 1, started off with a bang, won the race by going on a start to finish mission, was given a breather into the home straight, then kicked away from the favourite, and eventually Dragon's Gold had almost a length to spare. Today the mount of PS Kaviraj. Number 3, Wonderful. Number 6, Clever Hans. Wonderful has had starts in all the 3 race days we have had so far. In race number 1 finished on 2nd, race number 11 finished on 2nd, race number 18 again finished on 3rd. And Clever Hans, who had one solitary start, that was in race number 18. The one we are looking at was in 7th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 2nd last of 7 runners. The winner here was Global Influence. Number 4 is Fancy Nancy. Fancy Nancy had a very decent monsoon season, back-to-back wins for her. This season in race number 11, she was slowly out of the gates, took the turn in 4th spot, then dropped back when asked for an effort, and eventually finished on 5th of 6 runners. The winner here was Buckley, who eventually had about 4 lengths to spare. Fancy Nancy today the mount of Sonu Mishra, who claims 4 kilos off. Number 5 is All Time Legend. All Time Legend had a start on opening day in race number 5, where it finished on 5th. Again, then race number 8 was installed the favourite and took charge as the heads turned for home and never looked back. Hands and heels for Imran Chisti for most part. Eventually had a length and 3 pass to spare on stablemate Swift Lady. All Time Legend. Number 7 is Guillaume. The run we are looking at is from the monsoon season. This was his 3rd start. Guillaume had an unplaced in 3 starts so far. The start is in race number 56, where Guillaume was in last spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 2nd last. Guillaume today the mount of Arul JH, and the winner in the race that we are looking at is Blackstone. We move on to the 6th and feature race of the afternoon, the Delhi Race Club 1940 Limited Cup for horses rated 81 and above, rated 61 to 86, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. First up, we are looking at 4 runners. This is from race number 64, where we had Chopin. Chopin was on a start to finish mission and really gave a tough fight to A Star Is Born, who eventually got the measure of Chopin close home by a half a length. We had number 3, Stockbridge. Stockbridge was in 4th spot for most while and stayed on in 4th. Number 5, Redoubtable, who was in 5th spot, also did not make any further improvement, finished on 5th. Tiger Mountain also stayed on in 3rd after travelling in 3rd spot for most while. Chopin, the mount of A Sandesh. Stockbridge ridden by S. Saklane. Redoubtable by Kritish Bhagat, and Tiger Mountain by R. Bhaibhav. Number 4 is Flying Scotsman. Flying Scotsman started the monsoon season with a win in race number 19, then a 3rd placed effort in race number 38. Last start it had was over 1200 meters. This was in race number 57. Took the turn in 7th spot, made up 1 placing down the centre, and eventually finished on 6th of 8 runners. The winner here was Miropi, with 6.5 lengths to spare. Flying Scotsman today the amount of Vinay Jaiswal. And finally, number 7, Dundee Satyagraha, who had a win during the monsoon season and 3 placed efforts from 4 stars. That's really remarkable for Dundee Satyagraha. But this season hasn't been that good for Dundee Satyagraha. In opening day on the monsoon track, finished on 4th in race number 1. In race number 11 on the winter track, Dundee Satyagraha took the turn in 5th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Buckley. We move on to the seventh and last race of the day, the Colonial Handicap for horses rate 41 to 66, rate 21 to 46, to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. First runner we are looking at is Prince Sabir. Prince Sabir had a few starts during the monsoon season, unplaced in all starts. This season in race number 10, Prince Sabir, this was in over 1400 meters, where Prince Sabir took the turn in 8th spot and eventually finished on 6th of 9 runners. The winner here was Dubai Princess. Prince Sabir today the mount of Abdul Fazal, who claims a kilo off. Number 3 is Dubai Star, has had a couple of stars during the monsoon season. Best start definitely is the start we are looking at from race number 35. Despite being slowly out of the gates and being in 6th spot at the turn, finished on 3rd and late finishing run here from Dubai Star. The winner Named C had almost 4 lengths to spare on the rest of the horses. Number 4 is Rimmel. Rimmel had 4 stars during the monsoon season. 4th in race number 6, 3rd in race number 12, 4th again in race number 26, and in race number 42, where the run we are looking at was in 9th spot. Came up with a late run and just missed out on the place money, finished on 4th. And it was observed after the race that Rimmel was bleeding from the nostrils, and the mount of Arul JH is Rimmel today. Number 6 is Norwegian Word. Came down from Bangalore, had a run in race number 18, then in race number 46 was in 2nd spot, rode the rail to the lead and eventually staved off the challenge of Aeropoli, where subsequently won in Norwegian Wood the mount of R. Bhaibab today. Finally, we got number 7, Rhapsody in Green, at a start in the current season on the winter track in race number 12. Is Rhapsody in Green was in 3rd spot as the race came to a boil. Rhapsody in Green dropped back, eventually finished on 9th of 11 runners. Today the mount of PS Kaviraj is Rhapsody in Green, and the winner in this race, the one we are looking at, is Aeropoli. So that's the lineup for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching and see you at the races. Good luck.